Hi, welcome back to another show. My name is Jeetu Jason, and you're watching Impact India. Let's get started with the first news, which is why did Uber and Rapido secretly discuss merging and what happened after that? So during Dara Khosrow Shahi's, he's the CEO of Uber, during his May visit in India, Uber and Rapido privately, secretly discussed combining their Indian ride-hailing operations, but the talks kind of fell apart. Why exactly did this happen? So why is it happening now? Rapido has become a serious Uber competitor. Let me give you some numbers. The overall rides for Rapido is 50% of the market share. Uber is only 40%, 10% less than that. Cab rides, Uber is a little ahead in this, 35 to 40% for Rapido, but 45% for Uber. Now, this is the ticker, the monthly active users Rapido has is 74 million, while Uber only has 39 million, exactly half. So why did the talks fail? It's because Uber proposed, we're going to acquire Rapido and it would become a junior partner, and Rapido could then run the Indian operations. But Rapido made a counter proposal saying that we will acquire all of Uber India and you can take a hike, Mike. Now, Uber obviously rejected this and talks collapsed. Now, where did Rapido get the balls to acquire Uber? Rapido just raised $240 million at a $3 billion valuation, led by Prosus and Westbridge and ASL participating. That's a serious war chest. So this is what happened, There has been an acquisition attempt, but it kind of fell apart because Rapido is too big to be acquired by Uber now. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's move on to the next news, which is Indian AI startups are increasingly being bought rather than funded. What do I mean by that? India has already seen 25 AI merger and acquisition deals worth 980 million in 2026. It's still August. We have not reached December yet, which is more than what happened last year, which was $625 million worth of acquisition. Why is this happening now? So AI boom is causing a GPU shortage and electricity shortage, but it is also causing one more shortage, which is the AI engineers are scarce. So instead of hiring these people, what these giant companies are doing is that they are poaching AI engineers on steroids by acquiring small startups because they've already amassed the worker pool, the resource, the AI engineers and IP and all of that. So they're just poaching staff or AI engineers in bulk, like wholesale. Now, why are they buying instead of building? Because it takes a long time to acquire the talent, train them, and get everything in order. So it's easier to buy them if you just acquire a small startup. You might ask, why are AI startups selling their businesses? The funds are mostly with the big giants as opposed to these startup companies. So the funds are not going towards AI startups. They're struggling to get funds to, move the needle. But AI companies, giant AI companies have all the capital. So they are using that to acquire these companies left and right for the human capital mainly. Now, why is this accelerating? Why is this trend accelerating? It's because AI capabilities deprecate quickly. Speed matters, and that is why instead of building, the worker base, they are just shopping for it by acquiring these companies. Winners in this case aren't necessarily IPOs; they are being absorbed by large companies before they become independent giants. AI is creating a weird inversion. Normally, startups use VC money, become bigger than incumbents. That's what happens. But in AI, incumbents can sometimes buy the startup specifically because building the same capability internally takes too long. That is the reason. That is what is happening here. That is the underlying, fact here. But the problem here is Indian IT is basically labor arbitrage. We are selling, labor, which is an infinite commodity. Labor is infinite basically, but human resources is not infinite. Yes, we have a lot of people, but that is not infinite. Once these AI engineers are all acquired in a few years, what do you think is going to happen? We're not going to be able to build the IP and intellectual property and all of these things that we need to have internal unicorns. Those unicorns are being killed in the crib itself. They're gone. These acquisitions are not being done based on startup valuation. It's being done on the human resource that they have accumulated. This is just poaching on steroids. So that is what is happening. That is the underlying information here. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Until next time, bye.